What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the post-match reaction. Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester United 0. And Sam, if there was ever a game where I felt like it was so obvious, blatantly obvious that we need a striker, the fact that Maguire came on in the last 5 minutes and had more of an impact than the strikers that we started with, basically tells you a lot, doesn't it, about the narrative for the game.
Yeah, somebody commented on the final score post that we put up like literally 2 minutes ago. Is that was Forest defense that good, or is our attack just that shit? And I think it's our attack is our attack is pretty shit.
Yeah,
it's pretty shit.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in that forward line particularly was good. Xerxes was a ghost for much of it. There's a couple of nice touches, a couple of movements, but barring that, not much. I thought Garnacho was awful, really bad, really bad thing for Garnacho. Like, I'm sure we'll get into that. Bruno was shifted here, there, and everywhere. Like, I don't understand. Like, that was the thing. There's some substitutions that were bizarre to me, and then, like you said, we chuck big man up top to try and get a goal at the end, which shows the desperation. So, yeah, overall, really disappointing game. Like that really annoyed me, that game.
Civir, was it expected the way that played out, or was you hoping for a bit more?
I wanted to win, so obviously it's disappointing to lose that game. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a generational thing. I saw the game completely different to how you guys sound. Like, yeah, I mean, the attack was we needed more impetus in attack, but it wasn't as bad as it's been previously. Like, I saw a lot of improvements, and like if this was like back. Oh no, let me not even go into that. I was going to go into Ten Hag, but like if this is how we're playing and losing games on Amarim, like when he first came on, then it's games like this, and you can see what we're trying to do, and you can see that you can see a level of improvement going forward. But like, so I'm not too disappointed with the loss. I mean, it's a nothing game. There was really nothing on this game. We're not going to be relegated, and we're not going to qualify for Champions League. There's really nothing on there. So if I was going to lose a game out of all the games that were coming up, yeah, okay, fine. I'm happy to lose this one. But there were things that I saw that were really encouraging, as far as us beating the press loads of times, especially in the first half, and coming out. And when I was looking at, like, at the end, like they had the stats on the TV and stuff, like we actually had more attacks on goal. I know we had quite a few weak headers, but we're actually attacking. We're actually trying to score, creating chances now. So
24 chances, 1.66 XG, 6 shots on target. One hit the post, the bar, from Diego Dalot. One off the line as well towards the end from Maguire.
Yeah, so this is what we weren't seeing before. So for me, this is an improvement. Now, and if there was a lot more riding on the game, maybe I would be a lot more upset. Yeah. But there isn't that much riding on it. And for me, I could see something. This is fine. This is the kind of thing that gives me the encouragement to think, okay, I think we might have made a good choice with Amarim here. And just getting the right sort of players to fit this style of football. And I think we'll be laughing in a couple of seasons. The attack was dead. You need specialists play these roles, these attacking roles, like especially the two wide attackers, the 2 10s. You need specialists, people that can play, people with maturity, people with a little bit of patience, with football, with football IQ, who know when to pass, when it's not, when to hold it back, not forcing the shot all the time, things like that. Like, that's all you need, and then you need your wing backs, and you're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam, I felt in the chat you had a different vibe with that. Talk to me about that. Your thoughts?
Like, people are talking positives, and I get it. It's what the kids call cope, isn't it? It's copium, is what people are doing. They're trying to find any sort of positive in this season because it's been such a shit show. I mean, it's been a shit show for years. Like, let's be honest with you. So I think people are trying to find any sort of positive to try and cope with what's going on.
Are you talking about what I was saying in the chat?
I think that's what Nick's referring to.
Yeah, I was saying
about that instance. Like, I'm talking about... Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
So I think if people was like, oh, we played well, we had possession, there's some good patterns of play, but in the end of the day, what did it come to? We've got no striker who can score a goal, so what's the point of having these patterns of play? Because nobody scored it. We then concede on an open counter to a player we let go of, who just ran 82 yards. Was it 82 yards? 80 yards, unopposed. Defenders falling over the place, trying to tackle him. Didn't happen, and he puts a goal in the back of net after running from his own half. Like, where's the positives? Show me the positives. We then stick Harry Maguire on up top trying to strike, and he had a better chance of scoring than anyone in that team. Had a chance cleared off the line. Like, there's no positives in this team, man. Like, this half of these players, even more half of these players, need to go. They ain't good enough. They just aren't good enough. And it doesn't matter what Amram does, what system he plays, whatever he tries to do. They ain't going to change, and you need to get them out. And as soon as we learn that, the better we'll be. But people keep holding on, saying, "Oh, it's a little bit better." There's this little moment. We're not winning. We've not won 2 back-to-back league games all season. So, I'm not happy with where we are. I'm not happy with anything I'm seeing. So that's where I'm
surprised that that's your take on the game. To be honest, I watched it and I thought there was in possession. It was a million times better in possession.
Right, but what happened?
Hold on, let me finish my point.
That's not the fucking point.
It is the point. The point in football is win games. You win games. That's what happened.
Listen, why can't you look at things in isolation? I was just talking, we were just talking about how we're better on the ball. Don't you remember how crap we were? We couldn't find each other. We couldn't string 2-3 passes at once. All I was saying, all we were talking about was how good how improved we looked on the ball. Yes, we're nowhere near where we want to be, and Elanga got a free run to score. Like everything can be true. We can be shit, but we can also be improving. Like 2 things can be true. Everything doesn't have to be so negative and dead. Then what's the point? Then don't watch any game anymore. Just turn off the season. What's the point? Like, why can't you see? Why can't we? Wait, hold on. So when I criticize the manager, it's a problem. I'm now saying I can see improvements. It's a problem. What the fuck do you want now?
Blame the players. Blame the people who are responsible. You back the players every single time. You go against the manager. You go against everything else. You never go against the players. You backed Anthony Martial for 9 years and didn't deliver. And you kept backing him. You bet Paul Pogba. He's all these different people.
Listen. He's a lot better than your Rasmus Højlund, right?
I'm not backing Rasmus Højlund. I've just criticised the whole strikers. I've just criticised every single forward we've got. I've criticised them all.
I'm getting drawn into your sphere, and I really shouldn't be. Every single time I talk about a situation in isolation, you just blow it up, this whole big picture. All I was talking about was that we're good on the ball, we're able to beat the press, we're able to play out of tight spaces. And I thought that looked good, and I thought that was a good thing to just mention. I'm not saying we're back. I'm not saying everything is good. Why can't I just praise the little improvements? Why does everything just have to be doom and gloom? Well, at the end of the day, everybody has an opinion. If you want to be sad about everything, feel free.
You could praise whoever you want. You could praise whoever you want. Your opinion, my opinion, his opinion. But it still doesn't mean I have to agree with your opinion. Like, it still doesn't mean I have to be sad.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean I have to be sad. It doesn't mean I have to join in your sadness.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So if I see little improvements, I'm going to be happy about that. Simple.
I think both. I think both can be true. I think in isolation, you can talk about the attack being completely underwhelming. There is never been more evidence for me that you need a senior striker. Ineos keep talking about young players and going for more young. You can't be buying younger players in those attacking areas. You need experience and deadly killers. You can't be saying, "Oh, well, we'll bring in a 19-year-old kid or a 20-year-old kid." For what? To wait another 2, 3, 4 years for them to potentially develop. We need something now. Go watch that game back if you have the fucking strength to do that. It's never been more evident that you need some real seniority and authority in that attack line. Now, I think defensively, there was a couple of counter attacks where it was like, whoa, we got a little bit lucky there. Maybe with the Oro one. Obviously, Elanga was going to come back and score a fucking goal. That was just inevitable. That was always going to happen. But one thing I will say about that is Forest have been doing that to teams all season, whether it's City, Arsenal, Liverpool. They've been killing teams on the counter attack.
We said it on the preview, didn't we? Like me and you, we said the same thing. This is what's going to kill us. The counter will kill us.
Yeah, they've been really, really strong at that. So the fact that they've scored on a counter attack is kind of, to me, like I kind of expected it. However, we did have a lot of opportunities from a coaching perspective. For me personally, for what Amarin's done and set them up, they should be going to win that game. If you're having 24 opportunities on goal and the XG doubling Nottingham Forest's XG as well, and you don't score, that ain't on Amarin. For me personally, I think that's on the players who aren't delivering the final third.
I agree.
I agree. For me.
That was my point. That's my point. Like,
but
these players are not good enough in the quality that we need to finish games. Like, they're just not. And what I don't understand why people are happy with the improvement when these players are not good enough. It doesn't matter how much we improve.
You can be happy about a small improvement in a different area.
But until these players, like several of these players, leave, that's as good as it's going to get.
Who are the several players you're talking about, though, Sam?
better.
Because I thought the majority of them did okay. It was the attack. It's not several players.
Hoyland,
three.
Xerxes, Garnacho, Onana is a questionable character. He made a great save. It was offside, but questionable.
Why was he questionable? Onana weren't questionable in that game.
No, I'm saying he's been questionable this season.
Yeah, but we're talking specifically about this game.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is all these players have been questionable the entire season. We have one good half where you say we play well, and now they're all fine.
They weren't one good half.
Nobody said they were fine.
We fell apart in the second half. Ugarte comes off. We lose everything in that second half until the last 10 minutes.
Are you watching the same game?
We didn't have any impetus in that midfield once Ugarte comes off until the last 10 minutes when we realised, oh shit, we need to score an equaliser here. And we started putting pressure on them. And he chucked on Ericsson, he chucked on Hoyland, he chucked on Maguire up top. He threw everything at it except the kitchen sink to try and get a goal in the last 10 minutes.
I felt like what you get with Christian Eriksen when you bring him on, and we're going off on a tangent, I'll bring the viewers in a second. You get more control with Bruno and Eriksen now. Obviously, when you get the counter attack or you have a physical duel, they're probably going to lose it. But from what I watched, and at least in the second half when they came on, I thought it was a little bit more control in the midfield. We kept bombing down the left-hand side. But the issue is you can do all you want, all the great build-up, all the triangles that you want, and then when you get to the final third, and Garnacho's receiving it on the left-hand side, and he's shooting every fucking time rather than looking for combinations. Every time. And you're like, oh my goodness. Fucking look for your striker. And then Rasmus is getting annoyed with him, and then Rasmus is fucking got a rough touch. It's just...
Fair play to, what's his name? Hoyland. He actually, I'm seeing a little bit of improvement. I don't know if you saw that today, but he was more in the game today than he's been like in previous games. Like, even if you can't contribute with goals, like just be a little bit more productive. And I saw a little bit, I've been one of his biggest critics, but I was really, I'm really happy with, the improvement I saw in the way he played. Yeah, it was, it was just one of those ones, man.
Can I just throw something to you, Sam, and ask you a question? If we have, let's say, a Saka or an Osimhen or something like that, do you think we get something out of that game?
Yes.
Right, so it's purely the attack.
No, it's not just purely the attack, but that helps. That's a tremendous fucking part of it, but it's not purely just the attack.
So I don't get the claims with...
We're so open to, like, any time a team has an attack on us, we are wide open. Like, we just get cut apart. It doesn't matter. Leicester, Southampton, Forest, everybody who has a goal, we're just wide open. We have nothing in that midfield. We don't have. As soon as the guy comes off, it's gone. No physicality, no sort of bite about it. Casemiro's losing his fucking mind, screaming at the referee and getting booked. Bruno constantly wants to go forward. And then we're bringing Eriksen on, who's the least physically mobile midfielder we have. If you're going to bring him on, put him in the 10, take Garnacho off. Put him up there. Don't put him in the 8 or the 6 or whatever.
Then where does your direct threat come from if you're taking Garnacho off?
What was he doing? How was he helpful, Garnacho?
Look, when he got into the final third, I agree he was rough and he was raw. But I'm saying when he was the one constantly picking it up near the halfway line and driving.
Did nothing. But
what did Eriksen do?
He had 10 minutes to come on. He's playing out of position in an 8. What is he
right?
supposed
So
to
he
do?
would have had 10 minutes as a 10 if he came
Yeah,
on.
but in a 10, where he's effective, that's where he plays.
Yeah.
He plays there for Denmark. He's effective in a 10. That's where he plays.
You're never going to win.
Just what's that? Well, no, I'm happy to think. I just want to bring in people from the comment section. UTFR saying we'll do fuck all with Garnacho and the team. He's greedy and massively wasteful. Andy Williams saying making progress, but if I hear up and coming striker, these football people need their heads checked. It's not Cope, but Ineos didn't sign any players, so this is what it is. If we can't get Gyökeres, swap Garnacho for Osman. It's strange to me. He always subs Ugarte. Seems he doesn't rate him. That'd be weird though, because he played with him at Sporting. He was like an integral part in his Sporting team.
Was it just tired? Maybe?
I don't know. So I went downstairs. I didn't realize he got subbed off. I didn't have a clue.
Yeah, me too. Me neither.
Half
When did he
time
come
on
back from?
He came off at half time.
Yeah.
When did he come back from international duty?
I think it was a bit late, wasn't it? Because him, Maz, and someone else, I think it was, who I think they got a bit of extra time off. So it was probably something to do with that.
That might be something. Yeah, it might be something to do.
Yeah,
maybe.
Højlund needs a mentor like Gyökeres or Osman. This is why I get so frustrated when they keep mentioning young players in that area. No, don't go do that, please, for the love of God. Because again, it's going to be next season when we go into it and we're like, well, once he develops and once we get into the thing, fuck that shit. I can't be asked for that. Ahmad, Bruno, and Osman would be a real force. I just kept thinking when Garnacho had the ball, what Ahmad would do. Yeah, spot on. Absolutely spot on. Garnacho's awful, runs like a headless chicken, and has no end product. Rainator saying we all knew what this game could be. I wasn't that fussed until kickoff, and then we're getting that infuriating shit show. Time to cash in on Garner, in my opinion. It's a weird one with Garnacho, though, isn't it, Chivy? Because I feel like I watch him sometimes. When he moved over to the right recently, I was like, oh, okay. He seems better on that side. He's cutting across. And then you see him go back over to the left today and do what he do. And you're just like...
I think the role there's too much responsibility attached to the role for a player like Garnacho. Garnacho is a direct player. He's like one of them. If he went to Nottingham Forest, he'd be amazing. If he went somewhere else, if he went to Italy, if he went to anywhere where he can just be direct, he doesn't have too much time to think. But the role that he's playing requires way too much responsibility, maturity, patience, all that kind of stuff. And it's not just the type of player he is. And it doesn't matter how many times, how long he plays in that role. He will never change. You can only change so much as a player and as a person, really, in a new position. So I just think it's not right for him. I think if we could get like 50, 55, 45 plus add-ons, something, it's pure profit. I think if we could get rid of him, I hate to say get rid. If we could sell him, I'd be more than happy to, because he just doesn't fit the style of play and there's no point. We can make money off him. We can go somewhere else. And if we think Anthony is killing it now, wait till he can actually go somewhere else.
It's true.
Honestly, he will light wherever he goes, and they play like a Atletico Madrid, that kind of team that just plays direct. He'll kill it there. But yeah, he's not fit for the role. He's not fit for purpose, and we just need to sell, man.
Yeah, Sam, when you watch Ilanga perform like he did today, didn't he get man of the match? Or he was...
I think so, yeah.
I think he did. When you watch him perform like he did today, and then you see Garnacho in the crucial areas doing what... I mean, I can name a number of times. It was a great switch from Dallo, where Garnacho gets in loads of space, just blast it over. Yeah, I think he had about 4 shots blocked where he was snatching at it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was about a million opportunities. So when you see that in the comparison... Are you of the mindset? I know it's straight after a game, so it can be slightly reactionary, but is it like, should we maybe at least consider a conversation about him in the summer?
I think we were talking about it in January, weren't we? Like, if somebody came in with 60 million, I think me, Chivy, maybe even you were saying we'd take it, because then you can go and reinvest it in the squad. And again, Chivy's right. He'll go to a team and he'll look like a fucking world beater. He will. Because that's what happened. Like, if he gets into a system that fits his talent and fits his strengths, he'll look fantastic. Look at Ilanga at Forest. He's been doing phenomenally well. But we saw him at United. We saw what he was like at United. He was limited, but when he plays in a team that is suited to his strengths, it's purely counter-attack, and he can use his pace and his strength, you see what happens. And that's what Forest have done, as you touched on, Nick. Forest have done this to every single team this year. Just counter, and they destroy them. That's why they're third in the league now. So, like, I would say I would get money for him, because he's a pure profit, academy graduate. he'll be better off in wherever he goes, and he'll play fantastic football. We get a bunch of money in, and we can retool this squad, which we desperately really need.
Yeah, it's the money they've spent and how well they've spent it, by the way, is unbelievable. They've spent an average on, I think, 10 to 15 million on each one of those players. Chris Wood cost 14 million quid. Elanga cost 15 million quid. Their two centre-backs tonight, Milinkovic and Murillo, cost 20 million quid together.
Hudson-Odoi cost 15 as well. He wasn't there today, but he's played well all season.
On each player you're talking about here. So it just goes to show, if you actually put in kind of due diligence with recruitment and scouting, the players that you can bring in, you can make a team. I think if Amrin doesn't fancy him and he's like, look, we'll take the 50, 60 million, whatever it is, or even if it helps as like a wait for the Osman deal, I think you've got to go and do that. And if you're thinking of it rather with your heart, if you think of it with your head, I think Osman, in that game, we get a draw out of it, for me. I think it's as simple as that. If you saw Maguire came on and nearly scored within 5 minutes. And he's a centre-back playing as a 9.
Yeah, with presence. Yeah.
Presence, just someone what I mean? Yeah. He was worried about him, wasn't they? As soon as Maguire came on, even Milinkovic being a big lad, he was like constantly checking over the shoulder. Oh, I'm worried. It was a threat. I don't know, man. I felt like we definitely deserved the fucking draw from that minimum, absolute minimum. And I know you lads have said before about the Prem that you're kind of not too fussed about that. It's just the Europa League. But for me, going into that, I'm like, I want to see the level of competition where we're at now. We've had a good run of form. Forest is the first, probably the biggest test that you're going to get out of the games that we've played. Where are we at? Where can we play? And to be honest, did you think there was much difference in it between both teams?
No, not really. Because Forest defended well, but I think over the game we were more threatening. We were the more threatening team. We had more attacks on them. We created more chances in their half. Onana made how many saves? I don't know. Couple? He didn't make that many saves, Onana.
No, not from what I remember.
He made one good one, but it was offside, didn't he?
Offside, yeah. One really good one.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's. I think we were kind of like on par. They just had that goal in the first half. And I think that, goals change games as well. Because we actually had the impetus, in the first couple of minutes. And goals change games. They score that goal, the crowd gets on their back. It's an early goal. They can kind of relax their nerves and, I'm not saying we would have won, but I'm just saying, maybe it wouldn't have been as easy. It could have just easily been a draw, easily, But then the way they defended really well, like, could have played for another, I don't know, hour or so, probably wouldn't score.
You can see why they are where they are, Kaiti Sam, how defensive, how organised they are. They just seem like an absolute fucking nightmare to play against. And just to throw this to you as well, sorry, there's a stat that's just come up. I don't know if you've seen it yourself. Harry Maguire accumulated more XG in added time against Nottingham Forest than Højlund has in his last 15 appearances.
What's up?
It's insane. Absolutely insane. Well, we've seen this is Forest bread and butter. It's what they've done all season. They counter teams. They're lethal on the counter. They've got players like Hudson-Odoi, like Elanga. Chris Wood has been in absolutely scintillating form. Gibbs White has caused problems. Like, this is what they do. They've done it to every single team. I think it was the only team to beat them.
Well, at home, I don't think they've lost for a good few months. They've been absolutely solid at home. I mean, they've been
They haven't lost at home since November.
Yeah, I think they've only conceded 10 goals at home as well, which is the least of any team at home, which says it all, really. So yeah, like when we said the preview, I said we would lose. I fully expected it, and it's gone that way, and it's a very narrow win. It's a 1-0. I think I said 2-1. So yeah, I'm happy that Forest are doing so well. Obviously, really disappointed that United have lost. But I don't know where we are because we've played teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, and showed up. We've got City on Sunday or Saturday.
Sunday.
We'll probably show up for that game because it's City. So yeah, I don't know where we are. I really don't.
I think games like that kind of play into our hands more because we just do the Forest on those teams. So we literally would sit back and then we're a little bit more compact. We're less were less open because the curve was open. You open up against Arsenal, they will tear you to bits. Open up against Liverpool or teams like that, like they'll spread you. So I think we're a little bit more compact when we play the bigger teams. We can always hit them on the counter. The way we play, the switch is always on, always. So there's always that switch. We can always hit them on the counter quick. So I think that kind of helps. But to be fair to you, Sam, as well, like I think it's just a bigger occasion, and we kind of just rise to that.
Yeah.
But then, and this, we're the underdog going into those ones. But then teams like this, like it's one of them ones where they just sit back and then we're easy to play against.
Amarin's been talking a lot about the progression in the team, and he's saying, I know it's hard for people to see because of the results and stuff, but there is definitely something there. I just think they need to do the business end now in the Europa League, like we say, but I'm struggling to trust the attacking players to convert in the pivotal moments in those kind of games, because them kind of games, you're talking semi-finals, finals, rely on a moment where obviously Bruno can deliver in those times of need, which he has been doing. I didn't think he was amazing today, but that might just be my personal take. I thought he was much better in the second half. But yeah, there's no one who's going to take that mantle up top going into those big games.
In the big games, like you said, in the moments, you need people who are clinical killers. And up top, we don't have any. Like, we don't have a single one. Like, you saw Garnacho just constantly cutting inside. He's trying to shoot when he plays on left. But you know what he's going to do. He's almost as predictable as Anthony at times. Cuts inside. He's trying to get shot away.
But is the coach not telling him that? You know, when you watch it, even my girlfriend said that to me when I was watching the game before. She said, is he not telling Garnacho to square it, to look up?
Well, it was like the Højlund thing. Do you know when he's wrestling with defenders and he's trying to I was like, is he doing that, or has the coach told him to do that? Like, what's going on there? Because that's not his strength. Why is he doing it? And then the same with Garnacho. Surely the coach is not saying every time you get the ball, cut inside and shoot. Surely, like you said, he must be telling him sometimes pass the ball, sometimes look up, look for your teammates. So I don't know. I really don't know. Like, we're not in on training. We can't hear him. So I really don't know.
But as a coach, if you're watching that on the side, surely you either show him a video back and you're like, look, you get to the byline, Rasmus runs to the near post, you've got someone peeling off at the back, and you've got someone on the edge, Bruno or Ericsson most likely, right, who's waiting. Why are you not lifting up your head and picking these players out? Surely you would think a coach has had a conversation about that, but we're still seeing it.
You'd like to imagine that, yeah. But then I think we spoke about this a few months ago about the kind of player Garnacho is and Rashford, where they're just very instinctive players, and they just do by instinct, really. And they're not people that really scan, or they're not the type to scan. Like, it's shoot first, and if the shooting lane is blocked, that's when they revert to passing. But then by that time, the pass is off already.
Yeah.
Dogu might have straight offside, and then he has to come back that way, and then all that kind of stuff. You could scream at him till you're blue in the face, but he's just going to be who he is, man. That's how some players are. Now, maybe the coach is telling him, if you see a chance, take it. Like I know some strikers, especially when they used to go on like droughts and stuff, they just used to
shoot constantly, innit? Just shoot
constantly, just to get it back. Just to get that one. And maybe that's what he's doing, but I don't know. His confidence isn't there. His body language is he's not happy. He's not the same.
He kicked the ball away, didn't he? When he got the offside, he kicked the ball away and got a yellow card, which just shows the immaturity of where he's at, mentally.
Yeah. He's not happy. He's not happy with whatever's happening now. It's starting to show. But as far as instructions from the manager, they must have told him loads of times. I mean, the players, I would imagine that when they go back into the changing room, that the players would be upset. Like, one of the chances that he had, he controls the ball perfectly. The one that Yates.
Oh, the touch, yeah, he brings it down, doesn't he? Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund is on the other side of them two defenders, and he could have easily squared that, easily. But his head is constantly just down. He doesn't even look up. I don't know whether he does it intentionally or, but I don't have too much hope in him as far as improving that sort of behavior. I think he's just he's just going to be who he is wherever he goes.
Yeah, I was just looking at his record now. Obviously, he scored against Leicester, but then it's like, well, even Rasmus scored against Leicester, so that's kind of like, take that for what you will. But then before that, he hadn't scored since Brentford, which is like the 19th of October. Like, he's on a drought.
It's scary.
Rasmus on a
It's
drought.
scary.
Xerxes isn't an out-and-out goal scorer, really. So that's the only thing that's stopping me from going, I think we can get to the final of the Europa League. Because finding the 10-minute period, be like, right, back, you can get a couple of goals, and these are just.
If Bruno doesn't score,
those ones,
we don't have a goal in this team. If Bruno doesn't score something, that's it.
Yeah, I think it also depends on like the sort of opposition we face. Like if you face teams like Forest, who will sit back, then yes. But then when we play teams that kind of open up a little bit more, maybe we have a little bit of a chance. I don't know too much about. Sorry?
You need to get Ahmad back.
Bro, but I don't think that's happening.
I think he'll be available for the final, from what Amarin's been saying. I think he'll be there or thereabouts.
If we make the
obviously, yeah. If we make it, I know it's a big if, but I'm saying that they're the difference makers.
I don't think he's back on grass even just yet. So I don't know if
playing with one leg at this point, mate. I don't really care. Just playing with one leg.
But yeah, I was very optimistic going into the game and going into the next couple of games. Was after seeing that, I don't know. Like as far as winning, as far as improvements, yes, I can see some improvements. But as far as going all the way, like the attack was just dead, and something has to give. One more thing I'd like to say very quickly before we go is that as I understand everything that's going on with the club, but then Amorim as well is still struggling. I can tell that he's still struggling to find his best team, like the best balanced team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that's kind of like holding us back, because this Forest team, I'm sure this combination of team has played like, apart from Awoni, all of them have probably played, 10 games, 15 games, whatever. It's Cass and Bruno. It's Ukati and Meno. It's
Maz at centre back, Maz at wing back.
Yes, yeah, everything changing. Ericsson, yeah. So there's a lot of things that come into play when that's led us to this point right now. And I think sometimes if we can just think, okay, there's other things at play as well. It's not just here you go, 11 players, go and play, go and win. There's a lot of things that happen. So it's just something to think about, really.
Yeah, you're papering cracks in a system. Sam, just to finish off, we've got Manchester City on Sunday. We then, I think we play Lyon, after that. And then Newcastle at St. James's Park, and then Lyon again. That's the crunch time of the season. And I know Premier League positioning table, I get it, right? But those next 4 or 5 games, season defining, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like I think we'll show up against City because we've seen this season we show up against Arsenal, showing up against Liverpool, like we've done it. So I think we will show up against City and we'll put in some sort of fight. So I could see us draw. I could see us sneaking a win. Like I could see it against City very easily. Lyon and Newcastle, I don't know. I really don't know. Like what's going to happen there. Like I do not know, because I don't think you could take the City performance as an indicator of what you're going to get against Lyon. I think it's just a one-off game. It's almost like a cup game. Like you just take it as a one-off thing, and it's just like that happens, and then that has no sort of correlation on what's going to happen later on. So yeah, I really don't know what to expect against Lyon and Newcastle. I really don't, but I'm pretty upbeat about the City game, weirdly enough. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
It's more the game at St. James's Park that I'm worried about, because that's in between the two like tricky fixtures against Lyon, which we'll want to advance in and give absolutely everything towards. I think that could be a battering if we're not careful. But anyway, that's down the road. We've got Man City to worry about initially, and then we can have conversations about the other games. Appreciate everyone who's joined us in the chat. Not the result we wanted, of course, but there'll be more kind of analysis on this game as days go forward, and we can kind of look into it a little bit more in the performance and the specifics. I'll certainly be doing that anyway. So yeah, please do leave a like on the video for us, subscribe to the channel, and just below me here on your screen are all the socials: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we're even on Facebook. So drop us a follow over on there. And yeah, me, Civir and Sam, will see you guys in the next one.